Hi, I've got in front of me here the original battery pack for the Flymo 1200R. In fact, this bit I've already taken off. I'm just reaching for now. That's this piece here. This was kind of around the ends like this. Sorry, I'm not showing you very well. But, oh well. So what we can see, I'll show you in a moment, is the ID on the bottom of the battery pack. And if we peel that off, sorry, my camera setup's not the best. If we peel that off, we've got the gaffer tape with the serial number and ID of the battery unit on the back. Let me just show you that clearly so that you can, oops, upside down. I think it was. Okay, whatever. So here's the original unit that came out of the 1200R. I've done another video where I show you how to get access to this inside the 1200R. But anyway, that's what I was trying to show you earlier. This piece here I'd already taken off. That kind of wraps around. This bit here comes away. That goes down there. And you get the idea. That's kind of how it looks with the taped bit on the back when it comes out of the 1200R. Now, when we take the gaffer tape serial number bit off, just place that there, then what you get is you can see a battery management system board down here, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So let's peel this back from this dud original Husqvarna battery pack. So I peel this off. So I've just taken off this piece here. Okay, and now we can see that looks like a little temperature sensor in there, that white bit there. And we can see we've got a battery management system in there. And I'll post details of that in the links below. Sorry, in the video notes below. So you can see it's a little bit convoluted. It's got leads coming out there, red, grey, black and orange, 4 leads, well, thin wires. And they're going out to the end, so you've got blue there and you've got grey there. I don't know if you can see it, just the tip of my finger. And if I spin the battery pack around to the other end, we've got red there and we've got orange there. So what I'm going to try and do, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this battery pack on the new unit that I got from Subtel. So this original pack is 148 new, and this one I got for 45 delivered. Now the new one, the Solonic thing from Subtel, is a higher rated pack. It's a 2500 milliamp hour. The original's 21. Now you do need to get at least 21 milliamp hour, at least a 21 milliamp hour pack, or your mower might just stop dead while it's out mowing, which is what happens when your battery pack's gone. If you're overrated at 2500, you're fine as long as the voltage rating is the same. So these packs, there's as you can see, there's five 18650 cells in there. They're spot welded together with a strip of conducting steel, thin strip of conducting steel at either end. And the cheap one has the battery management card would be sitting on these two batteries here if it was there. I thought it would have that, so it's rather frustrating that I've got to solder this off the old pack onto the new one. Now, if you don't do this, the new pack's really not going to last too long because there's no balancing of the batteries as they charge up. I'd rather not have to do this. but I want to put the battery pack in and forget about it for at least a couple of years. So I'm going to put this battery management card in. So let's do that now. So first thing I need to do is just take these, get the soldering iron on. So that's it switched on now, and I'm going to just heat up these leads and take them off. So I'm just going to check that they're broadly structured the same way. They should be. Let's take that off. Let's open this up. So you can see with this one, the lead just goes straight to the end of the battery in both cases. So your negative terminal there, and your positive terminal there just goes straight onto the end of the battery. So let me just release this off. Now I know I'm working with a fully charged battery here, so I'm being careful. I would rather this had been done before the thing was ever charged, but there we are. When I put it back together, I'll be sure to put the positive connection on first. If it doesn't work, it shouldn't be too much bother. Let me just pause a second. So it's me just come back, and I've got the Salonic pack. I've managed to open it up with these bits off the end. They were unfortunately, unlike the Husquarna one, they were glued on with some kind of epoxy resin. So you can see it's a bit messy at the end. And to get that off, I had to use a metal spatula, and you can see there was a wee bit of arc welding went on there as I did so. You can just about see there, little spot hole. But anyway, it was only for a second, and very momentarily. You can imagine the spatula got pulled out of there pretty quick. Pack will be fine. So now I've got this off, I just need to figure out how to get the and as I suspected, this thing here is a tiny little temperature sensor, tiny little probe. It's probably bimetal plate probe, or might be semiconductor, simple PN junction or something. Okay, so there's my 18650s. There's no identification on these cells like there is on this pack, which identifies them as Sony cells. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to desolder. Oh yes, I was going to check this. 2 seconds. I'm going to pause while I check. Okay, so the cells are structured the same way. They are definitely built the same way. You can maybe see that there. So it's just a straightforward swap over. So I'm just going to make some notes here so that I get this right. I'm going to pause again. I'll be back. Okay, I've made some notes. I've just kind of jotted down here what's going on. Sorry about this being a bit back to front, but I'm using the front-facing camera just so I can see what's going on. So I've got my notes. The next thing I'm going to do is just check that the polarity is conventional in both cases. In other words, black is black and red is red. So I'll put the black on black here and the red on red. I'm expecting to get that 18 volts. Yep, 19. This one was overreading slightly. That's fine. So black to black, red to red, 19. Okay, and on this one, black to black, red to red, 20.4. That's interesting, because the other pack's only 19. So although they're supposed to be 18.5 volt packs, I suspect they are supposed to read slightly high. Okay, so right, let me remove this off of here. That we can get that. Okay, that's the little temperature probe out. Okay, there was a bit of shredding of the cell casing as I did that, and now all I need to do is remove these. So let me just quickly do that. The iron's already hot. It's got plenty of power, this iron, so okay, that's the orange lead off. Let's get this red lead out. Oops. It's an awful lot of faff there, so I'm sure that battery management module isn't very expensive, so why they didn't get this captain tape, whatever we want to call it. So let's get this one out of here, this red one. Oh, now watch that. Get that orange wire out of the way so it doesn't touch anything. I should probably okay, that's the red off. I should really clip that black wire first, I think. I should have done that first. Oh well. Okay, those wires are clear. Let me see if I can just clip this off. I might be able to work hard on that so it breaks. What's the best way to do it? I think I'm going to use a hacksaw with that. 2 seconds, just going to pause it. Okay, I used the nose pliers and I rolled the terminal off, so I'm disconnected. So I'd like to actually take the positive terminal off now as well, so we're quite safe. Let me put that right out of the way. So the pack's disconnected. So how I did that, I'll come up, see if you can, nose pliers. So it's a spot weld. And again, I'm trying to avoid any arc welding as I did earlier on the new pack, which couldn't really be avoided. But it's like an old can opener. I'm just rolling this off of here. I want to try and get it the other way, from the other way. Oh, there we are. If I can lift that up. Yep, now that I've lifted that, I should be able to just roll that off. Great. And then a little tug from the other side. There we are, it's off. Okay, so battery pack is disconnected completely, and I've just got a couple of wires to desolder, and we're clear. Okay, there's a second temperature sensor sitting in there, which is really interesting. This is a much better, the original's a much better made battery pack than the cheapy one, which is just the batteries. So I'm going to pull that Kepton tape off there, and I'm just going to pull the temperature sensor out. So temperature sensor, let me just note where that goes. Orange then, so temperature sensor goes there. Okay, right, so okay, let me now take these final leads off. Sorry I can't get the camera in close enough, but I'm not really set up for filming stuff. Okay, that's the blue lead off. Last one. It's grey lead off. Okay, we're done with the soldering arm for this moment, so that's switched off. Oh, I'll need to give that a clean up. Okay, so that's just the battery unit now. The old Husqvarna battery unit. We're clear of that, and what I'm going to do is fit this onto this. So that's the battery management card there. I think you can get a code off of that, and it's a non-trivial card. It's got a microprocessor on it. Let's see how many pins that is. It's at least a 32-bit processor. Gosh, I think it's more. Let me count how many pins there are there. No, I think it's 32 plus whatever else is there. So let me just pause that. Okay, so I'm back, and the battery management pack's attached. All the soldering joints are done, nice and shiny, and the way I chose to attach the harness was just by soldering like so, and I did that twice. Of course, the secret to soldering is having everything perfectly clean, or certainly as clean as possible. So that's me done with the soldering iron. Everything's attached. There's two temperature sensors on the original Husqvarna. There's only one on the Salonic, or the cheap one I got, cheap battery pack. I don't know how that temperature sensor was supposed to do anything, because it wasn't attached to the battery management system card. Well, obviously it wasn't, because it wasn't a battery management system card on the cheaper unit. So that's what the new one looks like, and it just remains to. So I think that will double that battery pack's life. and it's reusing the old electronics. Those are the numbers on the bottom of the card. I don't know if you can see them. But I googled those numbers, they were useless. Anyway, so all I need to do now is put some shrink wrap carefully on these terminals. And that's the job done, thank goodness. How many jobs do we get where we buy a problem? I mean, in essence, this should have been, I'd hoped I would just have to pop this battery in and it was game over. But like a lot of things in life, it wasn't like that. So there's a nice bit of shrink wrap. I'm just going to pop that onto there. The red terminal. I'm going to shove it up a bit, cut it to size and shrink that on. There we are, so just get my soldering iron switched back on. So that's that, it's nice and protected, and I'm just going to shrink that on now. And I'm going to use a blue one for maybe don't have, I haven't got black, the blue's too big, I'm going to use red again. It won't matter, it's really obvious that it's the black terminal. So let's pop that on while the soldering iron's heating up. All the way back. These units give off a fair bit of power, so that's enough. Give that plenty of space at the end so that this one's got a wee bit of space at the end. It's got enough. It's not going to, these aren't going to move anywhere, so okay. Once you've got enough shrinkage over the bumps like that, it's never moving anywhere. If you haven't got this stuff at home, just use electrical tape. You'll get some down at B&Q. So there we are, that's nicely shrunk on. The idea is it's nicely insulated, you don't want your pack going on fire inside your mower. Oh, it's the hot end of that, still warm. I might do that again. I really don't want those terminals shorting on something. Do that. By again, I mean I'll just put another one on. Especially to the bit that shrunk onto those sharp edges. Yep. And I'm going to do the other end as well, why not? If it saves me having to pull this thing apart, or having to go and buy a new mower because the thing went on fire, then it's only a couple extra moments. that's never going to move anywhere. Right, we're done. We're done with the soldering iron, I think. Let's get that away. Let's get that away. Right. And okay, so I just need to stick the so that's fine. Oh gosh, that is quite long. That's okay. I think the pack will still go in. I've left this little connector undone until the last moment. You can just see it there. I'll pop that in just as the last thing to do. And so that's fine. I'm happy with that. And I just need a tiny bit of epoxy glue to glue the temperature sensors back in. And I'm done. I'm done, apart from popping this thing back on. That's it there. You can see it was really well glued on, so it's not hardly surprising I got a tiny bit of arc in removing that thing. I'm not going to glue it back. I don't see the point. So this one was better designed, the Husquarna one. It's got a couple of long pins that hold it at either end. So I think what I'll do is I'll cable tie that. I'm not quite sure how. I don't think it really matters because it doesn't really perform any purpose. But so that's on. It's back together, and the only thing I need to do is just epoxy the two temperature sensors on, and I'm done. A little bit of glue for those. I want to get this finished. It's been going on too long. I'm going to pause while I get the epoxy. Right, I've just mixed up some epoxy adhesive, so I'm just mixing that up, and hopefully this won't affect the plastic wrap that's around the cells that I'm going to glue this onto. And it's probably quite acidic, this stuff, but I'll probably get away with it. I won't use much. I'm going to put a little daub at the ends of the plastic like this, just a tiny amount, so I can get this back off if I need to, just to secure that casing that casing in place. I'll do the same at the other end. What would we do without epoxy adhesive? There isn't anything else that works like it. Superglue is a total waste of time, and probably everything else. Okay, so I'm going to get cable tie out and just wrap it all the way around there to secure that. So that can dry. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Cable tie will fix that. Okay, I'm off for a cable tie. Okay, so that's the final pack. The cable ties are just holding that together while some epoxy resin dries. It'll probably be dry within 2-3 hours, and then I can put it back together, pop it in the mower, and then it's finished, hopefully for a couple of years or more. Okay, that's it. Oh, I was going to add, if I had known, there is a battery pack out there for, so the original Husquarna pack is $150, but there is a battery pack out there with a battery management system, and it says it's original for $97. I'll pop the Google search in the video notes below that I did to find that, but unfortunately I only found it after I bought this thing. So there are some options. Okay, that's it. Bye.